Welcome to Sleepy Classic Tales. Tonight, we travel together into the world of a very special classic, The Secret Garden, first published in 1911 and written by Frances Hodgson Burnett. This is our own calm and gently told short version, created to be listened to slowly and peacefully, and perfect for falling asleep. Part 1. Arrival at Misselthwaite Manor. Mary Lennox is a quiet, withdrawn child. She grows up in India, but her wealthy parents hardly pay attention to her. She is often alone, spoiled and irritable, yet at the same time insecure and awkward, because no one has ever shown her how affection works. One day, a serious illness spreads through the region. Mary's parents and many servants fall ill, while Mary herself is spared almost by chance. Suddenly she finds herself completely alone, without family, without a home, without anyone to care for her. Shortly afterward, she is sent to England to live with her uncle, Archibald Craven, who resides at the large, isolated estate of Misselthwaite Manor. It is a place shaped by fog, long corridors and locked doors. Mary is greeted by Mrs. Medlock, the housekeeper, strict but dutiful. She explains that the master of the house is rarely present, that he is quiet and withdrawn, and that many rooms are forbidden or kept closed. Mary is expected to behave properly, not disturb anyone, and occupy herself. Misselthwaite Manor feels cold and overwhelming. Mary feels lost, but for the first time in her life, there is no one fulfilling her every wish. She must discover for herself how to spend her time. Outside stretch endless moorlands, and in the gardens around the house, Mary senses secrets, especially one garden that has been locked for years, a garden whose door, people say, has never been opened again. Mary immediately feels that something is hidden there, something she does not understand, but that draws her in. For the first time in her life, she feels a quiet, unexplainable interest, something like curiosity. Part 2. First Paths, First Secrets. Mary spends her first days at Misselthwaite Manor exploring its endless corridors. The walls are dark, the stone floors cold, and a constant draft seems to move through the house. It is a place filled with silence, with rooms that carry untold stories, and with shadows that feel unfamiliar. Mrs. Medlock allows Mary to play outside, as long as she does not get in the way. So Mary wanders out into the windy air of the Yorkshire moors. The landscape is rough, wide, and lonely. Yet Mary feels strangely light here. For the first time, she is not surrounded by servants, not trapped by rules and expectations. She is alone, but free. While walking the grounds, she notices something unusual, an old, weathered garden hidden behind a high wall. The wall is overgrown and no gate is visible, yet Mary is certain that something is concealed there. She hears birds singing inside, as if there is more life there than anywhere else on the estate. During her walks, she meets the old gardener, Ben Weatherstaff. He is gruff and reserved, but not unkind. His face is shaped by the weather, his eyes alert. He does not tell Mary much, but that makes him all the more interesting, especially when a robin appears that seems to know him well. Mary notices how the little bird stays close to him, and when Ben sees that the robin approaches Mary, he raises his eyebrows in surprise. "It is a good sign," he says. "The bird knows whom it may trust." Mary follows the robin across the grass. It hops ahead of her, chirps, flies a short distance, and waits again. Suddenly, it stops on an old, half-overgrown mound of earth. There, something metallic protrudes from the soil. Mary carefully pulls it free. It is a key, old, rusted, but unmistakably a key. Mary's heart begins to race. The garden behind the wall. Could this be the garden people whisper about? The garden no one is allowed to enter since something terrible happened and Uncle Craven had it locked away. That night, Mary lies awake in bed. The wind howls over the moors. Somewhere in the house, a door creaks, and suddenly she hears a sound that makes her sit up. A cry. Soft, muffled, distant, but unmistakably a cry. Mary listens. Was it a dream? Or is someone truly crying in the house? Mrs. Medlock had said there were no other children at the manor. But Mary is certain. Somewhere in the countless corridors, someone is crying, and no one speaks about it. Mary lies awake for a long time, a key beneath her pillow and a sound in her ears she cannot forget. The garden, the key, the crying. For the first time in her life, Mary holds 3 secrets at once, and she is determined to uncover every single one of them. Part 3. The Door, the Garden, and the Hidden Room. Mary can think of nothing else. The old key feels heavy in her hand, and the idea that it belongs to a door untouched for years will not let her go. The next morning she puts on her coat and goes outside. The wind is cold, but the air smells of earth, moisture, and something alive. The robin appears again, perching on a branch, tilting its head, chirping as if to say, "Follow me." Mary follows it along the wall. The bird hops, waits, and hops again. Mary runs her hand over the old stonework, and between ivy and moss, she suddenly feels a slight hollow. Then she finds it, a round opening in the wall, just large enough for a key. Her heart pounds as she pushes the key inside, hesitant, but full of hope. It fits. There is a soft click, a slight resistance, and the door opens heavily, as if it has been waiting for this moment. Mary steps inside. Before her lies a garden that has been forgotten, but not dead. Vines, grass, and wild bushes grow everywhere, yet beneath them she senses order. Beds, paths, rose bushes, merely sleeping. Mary feels something she hardly knows. Joy. A warm pull in her chest, a sense of belonging, something that is hers simply because she has discovered it. She spends the entire morning in this enchanted garden, lifting branches, touching bark, kneeling to feel tender buds hidden beneath the soil. She senses that this place is not dead, but waiting. From that day on, Mary visits the secret garden every morning. She works quietly, pulling weeds, loosening tangled branches, clearing leaves. She does not know why, but it feels right. For the first time, she experiences the effect of care. Yet at night, the mysterious sound returns, the crying. One evening, Mary gathers her courage. She waits until everything is still, takes a candle, and slips through the corridors. The long hallways are barely visible in the half-light, shadows pressing heavily against the walls. Then she hears it again, a muffled, restrained sobbing. Mary follows the sound, turning corners, moving through corridor after corridor, until she stops before a door that is slightly open. She pushes it gently and freezes. In the room sits a boy in a large bed, surrounded by pillows and blankets, pale and thin, with intelligent restlessness in his eyes. This is Colin. Mary recognizes him instantly, even though no one at Misselthwaite ever speaks of him. Colin is Uncle Craven's son, a child who has not left the house for years. No one visits him. No one talks about him. He was hidden from Mary, just like the garden. He stares at her. She stares back, And in that moment, something begins that neither of them could have foreseen. Part 4. Friendship, Change, and a Garden Awakens. From that evening on, Misselthwaite Manor changes completely for Mary. Colin is not the fragile, sorrowful shadow the servants describe. He is lively, intelligent, curious, but imprisoned by fear, by stories of illness, by the belief that he is weak. Mary sits beside his bed. For the first time since her arrival, she feels truly close to someone. Colin speaks rapidly as if he must make up for years of silence. He tells her of his pain, his belief that he will soon die, his loneliness. Mary listens, and then tells him something no one has ever said, that he does not look like someone who is about to die. Colin is confused, disbelieving, and perhaps for the first time, a little hopeful. Mary begins visiting him secretly every evening. They talk, laugh quietly, and Mary realizes that Colin, like herself, has never learned how to live a normal, fulfilled life. Both children carry wounds that cannot be seen. The next day, Mary returns to the secret garden, but now with a new feeling in her heart. She wants to share this place. She reveals the secret to Dickon, a boy from the nearby moors who knows nature like no one else. With him, the garden becomes more alive than ever. He shows Mary which roses are still living, which buds will soon awaken, which plants need light. His gentle, warm nature fills the garden with calm. Together they work there day after day. Branches thin out, the soil breathes again. Green shoots break through the earth, and Mary realizes that she herself is changing. She becomes more open, warmer, more energetic. Meanwhile, Colin's longing to see the garden grows, even though he does not believe he will ever walk. He has spent his whole life being told he is too weak, too sick, that his spine will fail him, that he will never stand. But Mary, now braver than ever, speaks to him with a clarity no one expects. She tells him that much of his weakness lives in his mind, that he fears things he has never tried, and that he is far stronger than anyone has told him. These words change something in him. Slowly, something happens that no one thought possible. Colin begins to sit, then to stand, then to walk. First unsteady, then with growing strength. His transformation mirrors that of the garden. Every step he takes is like a bud opening. And finally, the day comes when Mary, Dickon, and Colin decide it is time. Time for the garden. Time for something that feels like a new beginning. Dickon pushes Colin's wheelchair across the grounds. Mary runs ahead. The robin flies in front of them as if it knows exactly what is about to happen. Mary opens the hidden door. Colin enters. He sees the garden, alive, growing, full of hope, and something appears on his face that Mary has never seen before. Joy. Deep, unguarded joy. For a moment, the three children stand silently. The wind moves gently. Roses lift their heads. And Colin does not collapse. He straightens. Part 5. Healing, Return, and a New Home. The secret garden becomes a second home for Mary, Colin, and Dickon. Not a day passes without them returning to water, prune, plant, and marvel. Colin, who once barely dared to stand, now walks through tall grass, rose hedges, and winding paths, each step a small triumph. With every movement, he discovers something he was long denied. He can live. He can laugh. He can be healthy. What once seemed certain, that he was weak, crumbles like old leaves. Mary changes as well. She is no longer the irritable girl from India who gave orders and knew no friends. In the garden, she learns patience, responsibility, and kindness. For the first time, she feels needed. Misselthwaite Manor itself feels the change. The long corridors seem less gloomy. Children's voices fill the house with warmth. The servants notice it first. The heavy shadow that has rested over the estate for years begins to lift. Meanwhile, Colin's father is traveling, still burdened by the grief of his wife's death. He flees into work and distance, believing that the sight of his son would only reopen old wounds. Without realizing it, he stays away while his son needs him most. One evening, far from England, he has a dream. He sees his late wife, calm and radiant, as if she were calling him home. He wakes with a feeling he has not known in years. Longing. That same day, he sets out for Misselthwaite. Something draws him back. Someone. While this happens, the children experience their greatest moment. Colin decides he wants to show his father who he has become, or perhaps who he always could have been. Together they attempt what once seemed impossible. Colin runs. First a few steps, then farther, then nearly across the entire garden, trembling, laughing, breathless, eyes wide with disbelief. Mary and Dickon watch quietly, giving him his moment. This garden has not only made him stronger, it has given him courage, identity, and his life back. When Colin's father arrives at Misselthwaite, the house feels strangely still, changed. He asks for his son, but no one dares spoil the surprise. He walks alone through the gardens, along the old path he once avoided in pain, and stops abruptly when he sees the hidden door. He opens it, and there he sees his son. Not in bed, not pale, not broken, but running in the sunlight, cheeks flushed, eyes shining, surrounded by Mary and Dickon. Colin stops, hardly believing it himself, then runs straight toward his father without hesitation. The father falls to his knees, overwhelmed. Colin embraces him, and in that embrace, years of grief, fear, and misunderstanding dissolve. Mary watches from a distance and smiles. She knows the garden has done its work. The secret garden has healed the wounds of 3 people: Mary's loneliness, Colin's fear, and his father's broken grief. But more than that, it has shown them that life can grow even from the darkest soil. The door does not close behind them. It remains open, like their hearts, like their future. And as the sun slowly sets over the garden, Misselthwaite Manor transforms from a place of shadows into a place of hope. That was our calm, short version of The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. Perhaps while listening you wondered why this story still feels so relevant today. What makes the garden more than just a place, and how strongly Burnett's own experiences shaped this tale? We explore these questions and many more in our companion book, Golden Pages, Volume 1. The link can be found in the description. Good night, and if you like, we'll listen to each other again tomorrow.